Good evening, everyone. One thing that none of you know about me is that I learned to play the piano when I was 12 years old. But I didn't learn to play very much, and I didn't learn to play very well. In fact, after just a few months, I never played again. You see, my piano teacher told me, if you're not going to practice, there's no need to take lessons. But I did practice. Every week, 30 minutes before my lesson, I would sit down at the piano and practice for 25 minutes. Then I would walk 2 doors down from our house to where my piano teacher lived and get my lesson. It's kind of like the basketball team that the only practice they get is that 20-minute warm-up before each game. They're not going to win many games doing that. And it's the same for us trying to live the Christian life. If we only get a sermon on Sunday mornings, and that's it, we can't really expect that we're going to be going to be living the life that God would have us live on a daily basis. We need to practice living the Christian life every day. And before long, it will just become second nature to pray, to be kind, to give the benefit of the doubt, to forgive, and to praise God. Just like it becomes second nature to the piano player who has practiced and knows what every key is for and where it's at on the keyboard. And like the basketball team that puts in the practice to the point that they know how to execute the plays without even thinking about them. It's as easy as walking. You don't think, you just do. As Christians, our life is a journey of faith, and not just for eternal salvation, but also of practicing daily decisions that build a lifestyle that reflects Christ. Paul writes in Galatians chapter 2, verse 20, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loves me and gave himself for me. As Christians, we are to be a reflection of Jesus, but it takes practice. We can't just show up here on Sunday and then on Monday be at the workplace or in our neighborhoods telling crude jokes and distorting the truth to achieve some favorable outcome for ourselves or looking the other way when we know that something is just not right. So how do we practice living for Jesus? I'll mention just a few that come to my mind, and you probably know a lot more. First, start each day with some Bible reading. The daily Bible reading calendar is an excellent tool to get your day started, and by putting God's written word in your mind the very first thing in the morning, it gets you off on a good start. Then follow it up with a prayer that God will give you guidance for the day. Give us this day our daily bread and everything else that we need for this day. Then be on the lookout for an opportunity to do something good. It might be a simple greeting or a compliment, a handshake, or helping out with a task that someone has before them. Maybe they need to have some books unloaded or something. But make it a point to be kind and be appreciative of others, even when you don't feel like it. And I know that's not always easy. That's why we have to practice doing it. In the Wednesday night class a couple weeks ago, Roy said that we need to prepare our minds to train ourselves and be prepared for every situation that we might face. It takes effort to do that. Luke 6:31 says, treat others the same way that you want them to treat you. That's a good verse to have before us at all times. Am I treating others the way that I want to be treated? You've all heard the little saying, what would Jesus do? Well, instead of guessing what Jesus would do, I think a better thing to ask is, what did Jesus do? And then do that. Practice it until it becomes who you are. If you've gotten away from living daily for Jesus, we're here to help you get back on track. We'd like to pray for you and help in any way that we can. If you've never started your journey following Jesus, we can help with that too. Whatever need you may have tonight, won't you come forward now as we stand and sing?